Listener discretion is advised.
The opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the individuals, and they do not reflect any official view of the United Steelworkers, USW Local 105, or its officers or sub-board members for officers.
Now, from the banks of the mighty Mississippi, this is Steel Revolution.
Hello, podcast listeners, and welcome to Steel Revolution 87, the first of this new year.
8-7. Yeah, it's nice.
2021.
That is right. I'm Roy Hutt.
Shawn Geisens.
Brad Grieve.
We'll be here to give the membership a update of the local news, and then move on to some national news, and then later in the show we'll interview singer-songwriter, union member Nate. Of course, I don't have my interview notes for him, so I would probably slaughter his last name anyway. So we'll wait, but that'll be later in the show. First, Mike, are you here to give us an update on the Nathaniel Payne scholarships? Hey guys, thanks for setting up my mic. It's a little bit better this time, but those that won: Abigail Stock, sponsor Brenda Stock; Emma Jones, sponsor Kenneth Peterson; Matthew Eckert, Donald Eckert's sponsor; Laura Bushel, James Brushel's sponsor; Xavier Gasper, sponsor Corey Gasper; Margaret Honeycutt, sponsor Foster Mentor; Joshua Stover, sponsor Matthew Volker; Haley Clark, sponsor Alan Clark; Alonzo Wilkerson, sponsor Rihanna Rios; Erica Smith, and the sponsor was Gary Smith. So those scholarships will soon be on their way, I believe. Brad, do you?
Yeah, I believe the schools have been out, the administrative groups there, but we will be mailing the checks, I believe, this afternoon from here, and Essentra is mailing them also. So they will, hopefully most schools are just getting back into session. I know my son's going back Monday. So the admissions groups should be back in their offices, and they should receive those checks next week.
All right, anything else to add, Mike? Congratulations. Moving on, we hadn't been on since I think we were on right before, or the week before, the Christmas basket. So Brad, how'd that go this year?
Everything went great. With COVID, we did it a little bit different, but we still were able to pack 600 baskets in approximately 1 hour. And the handout went fine the next day. So, everything was good. Look forward to that project again next year. And we may have a new leader there. I've asked Lee Schaefer to lead that next year, and we'll see how that all goes.
Yeah, he might bring us some baked goods next year, huh?
Yeah, donuts.
Yeah.
Maybe
Donuts.
Maybe you can throw in a recipe.
Yeah.
Your part was a little slow, Brad. So thanks for Brandon for bailing you out. You know, the four cans were a little daunting for you.
Yeah, it was kind of when we started out, we had a group about 10 or so, and you'd hit all 10 of them in a row, and then they had to set them down. But Brandon bailed me out, and everything went well. Worked good.
All right, for you guys out there at the plant, your Arconic W2 should be available online now. I got mine today, so be watching for that. Your YSA card has changed, so I found that out the hard way, along with I know somebody else did out there. Tried to use it, and it was declined at the beginning of the year, and missed mine in the mail. But it will be a white envelope with nothing much on it, but your YSA card did change, and I think there's some other changes with the with your flexible spending, so be on the lookout for that. It's moving to a light smart choice. Also, protect your vehicle in the parking lot. There was a recent theft of a member's car out in the parking lot. Individuals seemed to walk through East Gate and made their way
East exit.
East exit, make their way into the parking lot, found a open car with some keys in it, and stole the vehicle. So might be a good idea to, this seems to happen every, I don't know when the last one was, 6 months, or no, but maybe a year ago. So anyway, get your keys, keep them with you, and lock your doors to your cars. Also, a reminder here at the beginning of the year, if somebody feels that they've been harassed or had been discriminated against, they can fill out the Civil and Human Rights complaints forms. Got them down here at the hall. Your committeemen have them. Laura Rojas on the plate mill, and Linda Tyson and rolling. Also myself can get you that complaint form. So anybody that needs to fill one of them out, we'll take them, review them, pass it on, work with the committeemen in that, and try to come up with a solution if somebody's been discriminated against due to their protected class. That also goes to the international through the district. So again, that's out for anybody that feels they've been subject to that. Also, while we're gone, there was Martin Luther King Day. Being around the union movement, Martin Luther King spoke about unions often. Read one quote here before we move on. In our glorious fight for civil rights, we must stand guard against being fooled by false slogans such as right to work. It is a law to rob us of our civil rights and job rights. It is supported by Southern
Segregationist?
Yes, thank you, Brad. Who are trying to keep us from achieving our civil rights and our right of equal job opportunity. Its purpose is to destroy labor unions and the freedom of collective bargaining by which unions have improved wages and working conditions for everyone. Whenever these laws have been passed, wages are lower, job opportunities are fewer, and there are no civil rights. We do not intend to let them do this to us. We demand this fraud be stopped. Going to have third level grievances coming up here February 3rd and 4th. Sorry, Brad, go ahead.
Well, arbitration is scheduled for the week of April 25th. We don't have the exact date. We need to work on that.
Oh, I thought you were just going to continue.
Well, I could continue. I mean, and the other thing that we have to look at in that week is that I believe that's probably where we're targeting our election. So we have an officer election coming up this year, and March will be nominations, and April will be the election, with the new officers taking over in May.
Hey, thanks for putting that in there, Brad. I forgot about that one. Also, at news out here at the plant, there has been a recall of employees. In December, GMs were recalled back, all coming back except for one. All were recalled, and only one did not accept the recall. One brick mason's been recalled. There's been various maintenance postings up in the plant. A machinist one will come down today. Currently, we're in the process of helping the company recall 21 hourly production employees.
There will also be on Monday a posting going up for 3 oiler positions. We have one oiler there that's retiring, and one is moving into one of the maintenance posting jobs there. So again, besides the 9 recalls, there are 9 other positions we're filling within the general mechanics.
On the COVID front, we still have mask and gaiters down here for sale. There's still extra of the white mask down by Center Gate Security. You know, also remember you can get try to get an extra mask if you forget yours up at the temperature check or at Center Gate. And the company will be passing out one more Arconic mask here, so get with your department if you don't get that. Current confirmed positives from Employees 332. A reminder, if you're sick, please stay home. If you do not meet the company's requirements, but you still feel like you need to stay home, you can have your doctor take you off of work. Example would be like your taste and smell. If you cannot be 6 foot away from someone on the somebody on the floor, you need to wear a mask. This includes the break area. Also wear a mask. The requirement, remember, is from the turnstiles or from the gates to the red PPE lines in the plant. Remember, no one should be able to answer yes to exposure questions. Either you're wearing a mask or you need to be 6 feet away. We continue as a bargaining committee to discuss potential preventative measures with the company. To see proof of that, Brad had brought up, stress to the company the need for air purifiers, so you should be seeing those in your break room or break areas. If you feel you need more, get in touch with your committeeman or your bargaining rep. We can see if we can get some more put in your areas if you feel there's a need and you don't have one. For the vaccine, it seems like Illinois should be getting ready for category that we would be in as essential workers on Monday, according to them, and then possibly the beginning of February February, what, first
week?
Second?
Yeah, the first week of February.
First week
is what they're saying, but it's the 1A is where they're at right now with vaccinating, healthcare workers and nursing homes, assisted living staff, and residents. The 1B designation, so if you look it up, there's a difference in the definition. Now, they did correct one in Iowa, the age limit, which was, it's 65 in Illinois, it was 75 in Iowa, but governor did change that to 65. But again, they're offering a lot of these. The health department official from Scott County was talking yesterday about the amount that was available, and he said with the 1B group, the way they have it figured out, they're only going to get 19,000 and some vaccinations available to them per week, and it's going to take them 9 months to get through that group before they open it up to the general public. Now, hopefully with a new administration in Washington, D.C. and some new people moving in there, maybe the distribution and the production will ramp up, and we will see. But I'm hoping that we can get more people vaccinated than that, quicker than that. So, more to come on that. If you really, we're putting out as much information as we have, but we only have what we can get from the health departments in each of the counties, and they vary. So you really need to call the health department in your county or listen to the news. I know they're swamped with calls too. So that's where the real information is. I know they canceled one thing here in Illinois today. They were supposed to have another vaccination, but they had used it all the previous day with the people that showed up. So check it out and have patience. And we are working with the company here to try and get the state of Iowa to maybe make us a site for, at least for our workers that want it voluntarily, to get it here at the plant. So I pushed them to say, hey, we've been labeled essential workers through this whole thing, so let's take care of the people here that want to get vaccinated. So.
Yeah, remember you did receive a letter, should have received a letter from the company stating that you were, at least for Illinois, that you were an essential worker during Governor Pritzker when he did the what would that have been called?
When they were locking down the state.
Locked down and restricted the travel and driving and all that. That it was something that you could show police officers or whatever that you were an essential worker. Remember, that was sent out. You could use that along with your badge and an ID. At least that's what one member told me in Rock Island County would work. If you need copies of that letter, all the committeemen should have them, or get in contact with the hall, and we got them down here also.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's where we were talking about different counties may be different. In the state of Iowa, we haven't even got to that spot yet. But if they're limiting who they're going to give it to, then what kind of credentials do you need, especially in the essential worker part? So age-wise, your ID would have that. So if you're over 65, that should be coming available in Iowa. But the definition of essential worker is a little different in Iowa on who's in that 1B group, so we'll have to see how that all plays out.
Yeah, again, before we move off this, it's very, very important. Call your health department first. We do not know everything, and not every health department's doing everything the same. So call them, let them tell you what information you need, and if you need help getting something, give us a call. Got anything else from local, Brad?
Yeah, the air purifiers, the reason we got to that is we've been pushing back on, it's not just PPE face coverings aren't even considered PPE. But we're trying to get some of the hierarchy of controls, and how do we address the COVID virus here in the plant. And I guess one of my thoughts has always been that when you're in a room with the doors and lower ceiling, that's where, and if people congregate there, which we shouldn't be, but if you get more people in there, if there are some virus, it's going to build up. That's where the air purifiers, it will at least try to take some of that out of the air. I mean, here at the hall, we've got a couple of them, plus we've put different filters in the HVAC, the furnace, so that helps collect some of that. And the company's also looking at that, but you can't really get down to the real fine filters because your equipment isn't designed to take them. It basically closes it off. It's hard to get through that filter. So but we're looking for other things that we can do, making sure that it's not just putting face coverings on people, and the company needs to do some other things, and we're working on that, and education, rather than just telling people this is what we need, and educating people why. And I think what we've seen is because of the community exposure, people are doing more things to try and be better out there at the plant. I mean, the cleaning and that has to step up again too, and anyway, we got to just work to protect each other, and if you're sick, stay home. So
all right, so moving on to Iowa news and national news. Elections have consequences. And brothers and sisters that asked me, Local 61, or Council 61, represent some of frontline workers that's been dealing with the coronavirus and that, like the prison system and whatnot. The state of Iowa has graciously given them, in at least their first proposal, no wage increases for the first 2 years. They were asking for 3% as part of their contract, and of course, the Iowa limited what their public sector unions could negotiate on, which was only wages, and they don't even want to give them any. It's a tough occupation to be working in now, and it's a huge slap in the face. Moving on to other ones, newly elected President Biden has fired the general counsel, Peter Robb, of the National Labor Relations Board. Peter Robb was slanted greatly towards corporations and was put there to slant decisions in their favor, and we certainly felt that through the last 4 years on board charges that have been filed. But President Biden fired him, and Allison Stock quickly took his place as acting general counsel, and as soon as she did, Biden fired her too. She was picked out of the private sector, and attorney that represented various corporations. So another corporate sided person there at the labor board. So hopefully getting the labor board back into line with being for the workers. And also in an executive order that's waiting out there, I believe President Biden hasn't signed it yet, but giving collective bargaining power back to federal employees. So
Yeah, and what other change that or appointment that has deputy director of OSHA, and I think there's a couple deputy directors, but Jim Frederick, who was on the steelworker staff in Pittsburgh in the safety department, he was second in charge out there, and he had retired from the steelworkers, and he has been appointed deputy director of OSHA. So he's a strong advocate of working people, and he understands it. He's been around. He was actually, I worked with him. He was actually the rep that we used and before Steve Solomon signed on out there, and actually even for a while Steve was there. But he had the Alcoa group, and we worked with him quite a bit. So I know him and know that he knows manufacturing, and especially the aluminum industry, and a lot more than that. But I know he knows our business, so he'll be a great help out there.
So we did put that on the locals Facebook page, so you guys may have seen that again. At James Frederick, he looks like he served 25 years for the USW's Health and Safety Department. So there's a quote here: there is no stronger advocate for worker safety in this country than Jim Frederick. That came from International President Tom Conway. He brings to OSHA not just a deep commitment not just a deep commitment to safer workplaces for all Americans, but the enterprise and experience to get the job done. Let's see. It also goes on that said that he's also, in his role with the USW, provided oral written testimony to congressional panels and federal agencies that led to progress on countless workplace safety issues, including workplace violence, beryllium, silica, hazard communication, and ergonomics. So great to have a USW brother up there in charge of OSHA. You got anything else, Grieve?
Nope, that's on that stuff. I mean, a lot more to come, and keep an eye on it. I believe as working people, we've got people representing us in Washington, D.C. now. We still got to get things through our House and Congress, and the scary part for me is I've been listening to the top things on their list out there. They're all huge issues with COVID and the economy and everything that's got to get taken care of, but I'm not hearing as much about healthcare, which healthcare should be wrapped in with the COVID. So maybe it's just not that I'm hearing it the way I want to hear it, but that's a concern of mine, that we're going to have to get that elevated too out there. But there's a lot of work to be done, so we can't do it all at one time.
There's a lot of talk before the election about getting rid of right to work. So hopefully they need to get busy. They got a lot of stuff to do, and that's one thing that should be done. So anything that happens for working people, we'll let you know on that, and when we see it, we'll bring it here and at least talk about it. That's all I got, so I guess we will take a break and come back with our interview. All right, joining us on the podcast is Nate Venturelli. He is a singer-songwriter out of Indiana. Thanks for joining us, Nate.
Thank you.
How'd I do on your last name, by the way?
Yeah, you pronounce it right, Venturelli.
Nice.
Yeah.
I was worried about that earlier in the podcast. I said we're going to interview Nate, and then, like I said before, I was like busy and trying to scramble to get some stuff done today and doing my outline, and I was like, we're going to interview Nate, and then I said, well, I'll probably slaughter his last name anyway. So
No, you're good.
All right. We like to start our interview by getting to know our guest. Tell us how you got your start, at least in the singing songwriting part.
Well, But I've always like really sang in the car and shower and stuff, and but I didn't really play live music until about 2 years ago. Um, I didn't start really writing songs until probably a year and a half ago. Um, yeah, just really, really all new to it. I always sang like here and there, and once I played this open mic 2 years ago, um, that's I was too scared to do anything for the longest time. And then my buddy said, "Hey man, come to this open mic." I was like, "Okay, I'll go to it." So initially, I was just going to watch the artist play, and then my buddy brought a guitar, um, and he said, "Hey man, you're gonna play." I was like, "Oh God!" So I was nervous, so I had a few drinks, and then got up and played a few songs, and after that, I opened for a girl named Nicole Jamaros. She was actually a Nashville star from probably like 15 years ago. It was a TV show, but I opened for her, and then after that, I was booked every weekend for until COVID.
Yeah.
So it's been pretty crazy lately.
Nice. Well, I mean, not only did you have that going before COVID, but now if I'm right, I read one article that the USW did with you or on you, and it said you were now. Are you currently a welder? I had a hard time following
Yeah.
the job part in the article.
Yeah, yep, I'm a welder for USW 12775. It's for NIPSCO Gas Company.
All right.
So
Yeah, tell us a little bit about your local or the kind of work you guys do.
So we're a gas company slash electric. We have linemen, substation electricians. We even have generating stations, multiple positions there. We do distribution pipeline services for homes, all underground utilities as far as for natural gas. And my everyday job is just going to my fab shop, building stuff for out in the field, or if we get a leak or a new service or a reroute or some new stringing out of pipeline, we go out in the field too. So it's really it's half and half.
Nice, and that's in. So, how far away are you from like Chicago? The way I took the article and so I didn't have time
Oh,
to
not
look
far
at,
at all.
to look. So yeah, you're up by Chicago then, right?
Yeah, within 30-mile radius.
Nice. So not too far away from us. It'd take us what, Shawn, 2.5 hours to get to
Yeah,
Chicago?
2.5, 3 hours
Yeah.
to Indiana. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool.
So the reason we had you on, of course, you wrote the song titled "Union Man." Go into a little bit about your inspiration for that song.
Okay, so my grandfather was the union president of 1053 United Steelworkers out of Riverdale, Illinois, and he died real young. I think he was 54 when he passed away, and I wanted to pay tribute to him because I'm also a union worker. I found the relevance there, and I always heard from multiple people, not in my family, friends, people I've actually worked with. They knew my grandfather, said he was a great guy and always helped everyone in need. If he couldn't find an answer for something, he'd say, wait here and I'll go get the answer. He always helped everybody out, and I heard he was a great union president, and I just wanted to explain, what I really want to do is explain his life in the song, to keep his legacy alive and make people aware of the kind of man he was, and tell a story about him, and honoring him.
Right on. The now is that what how is your or what kind of songs are you writing about and then singing about? That's your own music. Is there a lot of like blue collar worker songs or union songs? Do you mix it up? What kind of songs do you write?
I have 4 songs. There's 2 that are similar. It's never directed just to working man or union, have the Union Man song. But when I come out with more songs, I might throw a few working scenarios in there, or hard work in some of the songs. I'll relate back to that. But this song was just solely to tell the story of a Union man and my grandfather, and just tell his life story. And I just hope it was relatable to other people. That's why I write the stuff I do. And yeah, I wouldn't target just the working class kind of music. I might eventually, but I like to have my songs are pretty. There's maybe two that are similar, but I'd like to have, I'd like to be a little versatile and write about different things.
Well, it's good at least to have a few. We don't have a lot of, at least my experience or what I know, there's not a lot of people writing those types of songs, especially that's mainly directed towards unions like yours here.
That's another reason why I wrote it, because I'm looking and I'm listening for something like a union song, and I really haven't heard any ever. There's maybe a few songs that are titled Union Man, but it's not really. I can really. It was okay. They're okay, but I can really relate to it in a certain way, and I just I wanted to write. How it is, getting into the union and how it was back then, and unions were a lot stronger back then, and you had to work hard for anything that you wanted in life if you weren't going to college, or if you dropped out from high school or whatever. So.
Right. I read a little bit of the. Well, I read the whole article that the steelworkers had trying to prepare to talk to you, and then I listened to the first little bit of the song, and then I waited and listened to the rest of it here today when we put it on the podcast. But it between that article and your song, it seemed like I could relate it to me and myself growing up, and when I look back on my dad's dad was a teamster, and that's what put food on the table and got them through. Then my dad was, and one of my cousins was, but my dad wasn't. That's how he supported us. And I can go back and think about it. When I was thinking about this interview and last night and thinking about it, and I think about how my grandpa made with doing what he did. I believe my childhood was better than maybe my dad's, and then my kids I know have done a hell of a lot more than I've ever done at their age. And it seemed like with the story that was in the USW article and your song, it seemed like your experience was kind of the same way.
Yeah. Yep. And that's what I'm trying to do, and it's just get people like you to relate, and just be aware of how what your grandparents went through, father, whoever, and I just think you'll have a good life if you're in the union. You'll be able to provide, and it's hard to unions were a lot bigger back then, and now it's like I hope they stay strong like they are now, but I don't think it's anything like it was back then, 20, 30 years ago. And I'm trying to get that story also out so people are more aware of unions and joining them. A lot of people, kids that are in high school, they don't know about unions because their teachers, a lot of them push college, SATs, and you don't really, the generation today doesn't, it doesn't seem like they're fully aware of, the money you can make, benefits, and retirement in a union, or the backing brotherhood. So.
Right, and they don't even get a whole lot of it in school. My wife was talking to my daughter, and then they later said something to me. They're like, "Oh yeah, well we talked about unions in school." I'm like, "Oh yeah, well how much did you talk about?" "Oh yeah, a little bit." And
yeah,
that was it. It seemed like, well, maybe it was a paragraph, and that was it. And it's like, it's a bigger deal than that. I know she knows what they're all about, but You
Yeah.
know?
And even when I was in high school, I didn't really, I knew about, my whole family. They're all union. Pipe fitters. There was some sheet metal workers. My mother's a police officer, so there's that union there, and my grandfather's a United Steelworker, and I in high school, they would, like I said, they would push college on you constantly, and prepare you for the SATs, and the first 2 years in high school, that's where I thought I was going, was college, until my uncle actually told me how much they made and the benefits and the retirement, and I was hooked, and I got in the apprenticeship when I was 19, or 19 or 20, one of the two. So long. Feels like a long time ago, but it really wasn't. I'm 29 now.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
we got people out there out at our plant. I asked a guy that his son's a couple, maybe 3 years older or further along in school than my daughter, and he's getting ready to graduate. And said, hey, what's he doing? Oh yeah, he's going to go out. He wants to weld and do stuff, and that's what he's going to do. It's like, well, that's great.
yeah.
Hurry up and get into something, and you'll be set. You can go probably anywhere you want and live and probably work.
Oh yeah. You can. And another thing is, if these kids go to college, they got these 4 to 7 year student loans. If they don't have a scholarship, and they're paying that back for 20, 30 years. And when you get into apprenticeship, they pretty much pay you to go through school, and then when you're a journeyman, you don't have to worry about those student loans, and you don't have that extra payment your entire life. So that's another big issue that the kids need to understand.
Yeah, I think me and Shawn just gave each other about the same look when you said that. It's not for us. I don't. Well, maybe did. Did you go to school, Shawn?
No, my wife had a 4-year degree from a private school, and we're still paying for it.
Yeah, my wife's got some stuff we're still paying for.
Yeah, man. That's it, and it's hard to, even when you graduate college, you're looking for jobs, and it's hard to find, desk, say you went into marketing or something, or something. There's all the other people waiting in line.
I think we just
Hello?
dropped him.
I think we did. You back?
Yeah, I lost you there for a minute.
Yeah, go ahead. You're talking about like if somebody was in marketing or something like that.
Oh yeah. So when they get this degree, they try to get in and get into marketing or something like a desk job. It's a lot harder to find that kind of work, because I know multiple people that I've went to high school with. They have these college degrees, and they end up looking for a job with that degree for 2 to 4 years, and they're like, what, screw this, I'm going to I'm going to go to apprenticeship. And there's probably 20, 30 people that I've talked to that have done that, and if they would have gotten there in the first place, they would have more retirement, no student loans, wouldn't be struggling to make it, so.
Yeah, and they wouldn't have like 2 careers now like you. So we can talk about your second career there in music. So, but before COVID hit, how was your career going, and how many shows were you doing?
Man, it was probably 2 shows a week, and 2 shows a week, and then I was writing, and it was man, it was busy, really busy, and these sets are anywhere from 3 to 4 hour sets, and I'd have band practice 1 day a week, and then a studio session once or twice a month. So it was that experience. I needed it during the COVID months. I needed to get out and play more, and it was just hard to do that when COVID hit. But yeah, before it was nonstop, and I hope that happens again. Because I have a full band now, and and we'll be playing, festivals and a couple of venues in Chicago, and hopefully everything opens up so we can get that, get to the shows.
Yeah, who are some of the folks that you have open for? I know you mentioned the one there that was a part of the show, Nashville.
Oh, Nicole Jamros. Yeah, she was a contestant on there, and that was the first ever, or like the second show I ever played, and but she's a nice lady, and then I opened for he just got signed. He might have been signed to Sony Nashville, but his name's Adam Doliak. Him and Austin Burke were on the same publishing deal, and then one of them got signed. And then I opened for Jason Michael Carroll. He was pretty big in the 2000, like maybe 2005 or so. And then I'm opening for Mitchell Tenpenny in May.
Awesome.
Of this year.
What was the biggest venue you ever played at?
I was thinking this. The biggest venue I probably played was we have an apple orchard in town, and a lot of people come here, in the fall months because they had like the pumpkin patch and stuff. And I ended up playing an acoustic gig there, and it was packed. It was probably, I would say, about 500 people there. And then I played a couple festivals with, maybe from like 300. And then I played, what was the other one? I played a town festival. There was a few hundred too. So it's really not been, I really haven't played for thousands, just a few hundred, or, just for experience and get my name out there. It's good practice, if we ever get shows, a couple thousand,
Yeah. Well, I mean, you got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Where can people find your music?
On every music platform, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, YouTube, Pandora, even Napster, and there's Tidal, YouTube Music. I think I already said that. And then I have a website, nateventurelli.com, and that has the link to every music platform, iTunes also, and then my Facebook music page. You can find it all there.
Okay. I know we've got a few members out there at least that either own bars or know people, and I mean, you're not that far away from here. If somebody would wanna book you after listening to the song here, we plan to play as long as we can't get in trouble doing it. I gotta say that, or Shawn will get nervous.
Oh God.
Where can people go to try to book you guys?
The Nate Venturelli the website, nateventurelli.com, and there'll be a link, email for the guy that does the managing for the shows. His name's Gary. The email will be on the website, or you can message me on Facebook on my music page also for booking, and we'd be more than happy to play a show wherever.
All right. Is there anything else our listeners should know before we let you go?
Just do what makes you happy, and if you could, just try to keep Union strong, and don't let them ever be diminished by corporate people that just want to make a buck. And just keep Union strong, and tell their kids about apprenticeships and things like that. And I know it's helped my entire family and helped build the life I have today. So,
all right.
but yeah, that's about it, man. Thank you for everything. I appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. Very good words. Thanks for coming on short notice, and keep on doing what you're doing. And like I said, we'll end up. I'll pull up my my spot with the Steelworker article on it, and we'll put your song here at the end of the show and have it finish out the show.
It means a lot, man. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. Hey, have a good one. You probably worked all week, and we're eating into your Friday.
You're good, man. Don't worry about it.
All right, take care, brother.
Yep.
Bye.
That Hut, he's the top of the line.
Yes, it's about time somebody.
Quite an organizer.
About time somebody noticed. Oh, are we on?
Yeah, we are.
I hope that goes out to everybody. Anyway, coming down to the end of the show, good interview with Nate Venturelli. Me and Shawn, really relaxed. I mean, that is one of the ones where it just was like talking to somebody you normally talk to.
You want to go and have a drink with the guy sometime?
Yeah. And then after a few drinks, you get up on stage and you sing.
Who, him or me?
Any of us. We could.
Well, he's the professional.
Wouldn't be as good, I'm sure, but anyway, one thing that I saw on my email I wanted to bring up to people is email from Iowa Workforce Development. If you got a 1099-G tax form from them, so if you were on a furlough, VSW, or currently out on unemployment, some of our laid off members, what had happened was there was an issue and not all of the benefits may have been included on your for your claims on 2020. So they are reissuing them on January 25th. So just in case you receive two, or you may want to hold off and wait until you get the one that's being issued on the 25th, because they're saying the first one has a chance of being wrong. Anyway, I hope you guys all got it, since I didn't even have it and I got the email, or didn't have any benefits. So anyway, got that, wanted to share that with you guys. Brad, you got anything new or anything you forgot about?
Oh, the only little thing is when we were talking about the maintenance jobs, there were 3 roll shop jobs which we got applications for, and the testing is going on there. Other than that, no, I think we've covered everything. And
all right, we come to Shawn's part of the show. Shawn, where can people find us?
Well, thank you for asking. They can find us at the Steel Revolutions 105 Facebook page, Apple Podcast Addict for Android devices, iHeartRadio app, Spotify app, Radio.com app, Lipson.com, the Locals websites, and the men's restroom here at Local 105 on Devil's Glen Road.
If you're in the stall.
With a cup.
Got one of the pint. We got to get new pint glasses.
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah,
I got to get on that.
Have you used a cup?
Gotta get
or do you use the pint glass?
it's the pint glass.
That's what does it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we sell them here, but we're getting a new one.
Yeah, we got to get a new one.
Want to get the podcast kind of a logo or whatever.
Ah, I like the way this is going.
Some of those Troy Cook logos that we got.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then we'll be playing Nate's song on the way out of here. And Mike, you got anything to say? Don't forget to say something good about your union.
That's good.
Shawn?
Every day.
Till next time. Take
Thanks.
care.
Steel Revolution is a production of Steelworkers 105, Bettendorf, Iowa.
Just a kid when his daddy died. He had to take care of his mother, welding right in his right hand, and a Marlboro Red in the other. Became a brother of the working class. He didn't have time for school. This kid don't grow up so fast, but he knew what he had to do. Papa was a union man. He built a life with his bare hands. He saw the good in everyone. He'd even give you the shirt off his back. 8 days a week at Acme Steel, back breaking hours in the coal plant. There ain't a thing that he couldn't fix, 'cause he never said the words I can't. Papa was a union man. Papa was a union man. 5 years later, he's a journeyman. Class of 55. Same year he met the love of his life. 4 kids later with a set of twins. They became his everything. Work harder, love harder, 'cause that's all you're gonna ever need. Papa was a union man. He built a life with his bare hands. Saw the good in everyone. He'd even give you the shirt off his back. 8 days a week at Acme Steel. Back breaking hours in the coal plant. There ain't a thing that he couldn't fix, 'cause he never said the words I can't. And Papa was a union man. Why did he have to go? I just hope I'm half the man. He is my hero. Papa was a union man. He built a life